I am Emily Falappino, President and CEO for the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce. And with me today is Mr. Stone James, Director of Economic Development for the City of Cathedral City. And we are here today because there are two emergency mandates, Stone, emergency mandate number 5 and 6, but are they both in effect or when do they take effect?
At the last council meeting of July, the City Council voted to enact emergency order number 5, and that is the order that requires masks. And that order went into effect immediately. Emergency order number 6 gave the businesses time up to September 1st in order to implement the requirements of emergency order number 6.
Okay, so let's start with emergency order number 5, which is currently in effect.
So emergency order 5, really both emergency orders, can be found on our website, the Cathedral City Economic Development Department website, ccedd.org. Both of the emergency orders are on there. And if you were to take down the 4 pages of emergency order 5, essentially what it means is, just like Emily, what you said, is if you're indoors, wear a mask, regardless of vaccination status. So one caveat with emergency order number 5 is that when you are outside, if you are with a large group of people and you are unable to socially distance, then emergency order 5 would require that you wear a mask. So this is an effort from the City Council is try to keep our community healthy, keep those infections down, and keep our businesses open.
Great points. So as a reminder, you can contact either the Chamber or Cathedral City for the signage, facial coverings, if you need to distribute them to your consumers, hand sanitizers. And I think we should probably touch on the fact that I think Mandate 5 is intended for the consumer, but the question might come up, well, how does this apply to my employees? And as it stands right now in the state of California, as employers, there are some clear guidance and rules for which employees need to be wearing facial coverings in the workplace. But if you don't know, you're also required as an employer to provide an N95 type mask to employees who might request them. And if you are needing those, the Chamber has ample supply of N95 masks we can share with you as well. So let's break down emergency order number 6. So essentially, it says that if you are a food and beverage based business or a nightclub or a bar, and a patron wants to come into your building, into an indoor setting, they need to be able to show you, and you are required to ask for proof of vaccination status and or a negative COVID test within the last 72 hours. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
How does that apply practically if you're a business that has both indoor and outdoor space?
So if a customer comes to your business and you have an outdoor patio and they do not want to provide that information, then they are welcome to sit outside. What emergency order comes into effect is when that person wants to come inside the business to have a meal. Now, if that customer is coming to just grab a drink, if they are just coming inside to use the bathroom, if they're coming inside just to pick up a to-go order, then emergency order number 6 does not apply. Emergency order number 6 only applies when someone wants to come into the business and have a meal or have a drink and spend an extended period of time inside of the business.
How do they legitimize somebody's vaccination status?
The goal of the council here is not to burden the business. What the council is looking for and what the city is looking for is simply best faith efforts to identify, is this person vaccinated or do they have a COVID test? And there's multiple ways to determine if someone has been vaccinated. If you've gotten vaccinated, you may have a physical card that says you were vaccinated on these days. Or you may have on your iPhone where you have taken down your vaccination status and maybe you've taken a digital photograph of it on your screen. You can show that. And so ultimately, if someone is going to go to the time to fabricate either the COVID test, the negative COVID test, or their vaccination status, the business is not required to determine the validity of what's being shown to them.
Could you help explain why Emergency Order 6 applies more specifically to food and beverage-based businesses? Why wouldn't the same rules per se apply to retail?
So the difference between a retail establishment and a restaurant or bar is the fact that when you go into the bar or restaurant and you sit down at the table, you take your mask off. And you have that mask off for a prolonged period of time with the people that you're with. And that is a very different experience than a retail store where you will generally keep the mask on, and then you'll be floating throughout the entire store.
Where can the business community reach out for more information or to express their opinion or their experiences and to request resources?
But really those three things: the chamber, email me directly, or go to the ccedd.org website.
We'll be waiting for your correspondence, and if not, then you'll be hearing from us with resources and support to help you through this.